If a person ghosts you and you still try to reach that person, might as well just become a medium and get paid instead. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Alina, and today I'm going to share with you guys how you can move on from people, that do not care about you, how you can heal from heartbreak, how you can just choose yourself. Because there's a lot of people out there that are constantly mistreating people because they refuse to heal from their shit. They refuse to heal from their past and their traumatic experiences. So that's why they put constantly their trauma onto other people, which also makes them break into pieces. And we at this point in our generation, we have either two choices. We can continue to pass that trauma and all those generational curses onto our next generation, children or future children, or we can decide that we want to break the curse, we want to break out of the cycle, and we want to actually heal. We want to, become better for our children, for our future, for all the generations that will come after us. So I believe we live in a generation that is very toxic, constantly makes jokes about mental health or traumatic experiences and compensate rather than actually healing and admitting that there is something to work on. And I know it can be quite frustrating if you really do think that you love somebody and that person moves on without you and you just don't know how to move on. You just don't know what to do. You feel like you're cursed. You feel like you're so attached to that person. So I'm going to share in today's video on how you can become detached, on how you can move on from a person, let go, and actually heal yourself. So first of all, you have to know, why are you so attached to that person? Why do you think you love them so much? I'm telling you guys, if you are truly loving a person, you are able to let them go because you truly love them a lot. This saying one time, when you truly love something, you need to let it go. If it comes back to you, it's yours forever. If not, it was never meant to be. So I don't really agree to that, because there's a lot of people that break up and then come back together, but it just means that both parts have not fully healed and they just do the same thing to each other over and over and over again, and they're just so attached to that feeling. Because you have to really actually just go into chemistry and like the hormones that are put out once you're actually with somebody. So for example, when a person is with a narcissist, right? What they do is they make you literally addicted to the highs and the lows. So for example, when you want to make a person addicted to you, you constantly put them under stress situations and then you share lots of love with them again. So that person therefore comes addicted to the love and to that high, right? And it almost feels like you are on drugs, right? Like you are so addicted to that high of that person, with that person sharing that moment, and when there's a low, you crave that energy. Like that's what you want. Like, oh my god, I wish it could go back to the beginning. I wish he would change, blah blah. And then he gives you a little bit again, and then you right away, like you're addicted to it. But that's not a healthy relationship, right? So you have to realize, why are you so addicted to that love? Is it truly love, or are you just manipulated? Are you just attached because you have attachment issues? There's a difference. If you have attachment issues, you most likely do not really love yourself. And when you do not love yourself, you put other people as a priority, which makes it harder for you to move on in the future. So you have to realize and really think about, do I really truly love that person? Am I able to let that person go? Or am I so attached to that person because either they were very toxic and they put you through these constant highs and lows and all these hormones that are going to, spread out once you're in that high and once you're in that low, that makes you addicted. Like this actual hormonal state. It's not that you love that person. It's you're addicted to that certain feeling of, getting these hormones. And that's just totally crazy, guys, because there's actually science to it that you can Google, that you can find out once you're doing some more research. So if you are, for example, you've been through a relationship with a narcissist, obviously nobody deserves to be in a relationship with a narcissist, but if you let somebody treat you like this, I believe that's on you, because narcissists, they don't go to confident people. They always go to victims. They go to people where they know that their strategy works, whether it is actually on purpose or not. Because some people, they are narcissists and they don't even know about it. Like, they are just so unaware that they don't even realize. But there's some people that obviously come with that strategy and they choose their victims carefully, and you are that victim. If you are not confident within yourself, if you do not love yourself, if you don't have any self-worth, self-respect, self-esteem, you will become a victim to that, because you're craving that energy, because you're looking for your happiness in other people and not in yourself. And if you want to, move on from a person, you need to find that love in yourself, because otherwise, even if if you try to move on, what you're going to do is you just distract yourself with the next person that you try to fix, or the next person that gives you these highs and lows, makes you addicted. So you're literally just exchanging drugs. You are craving that certain feeling. And why is that? Because you have not developed that self-love for yourself. You are trying to fill a void. And that is the only reason why you're not able to move on from a person. If you are a whole person on yourself, you most likely will only attract a whole person as well. In life, you will only meet people that come with the same type of energy, with the same type of frequency. You are so addicted to a person, you both are trying to fill a void. You try to make each other feel whole, but you should be whole on your own. Therefore, if you want to move on, if you want to truly let that person go, you need to work on yourself. You need to learn how to love yourself. You need to learn how to give happiness to yourself. You need to learn how to not be so attached to people. You cannot put the responsibility onto another person to make that person fix you, to make that person make you feel as a whole person, make you feel happy. A person can add on to your happiness. But you should never give the responsibility away to another human being that lives in their own reality. You literally drag your own reality onto that person. And that's not fair, okay? Yes, with these type of relationships where you're constantly trying to, fill a void, where you're constantly trying to fix that other person instead of fixing yourself, this is why there's constantly so many empty people out there that are then saying, oh, you need to protect your energy, only you, focus on yourself and just be selfish and let's use other people and become toxic. No, that's not the solution, And I don't care what's the trend on TikTok or Instagram or anywhere where people are making fun out of being toxic. I don't think that's fun, okay? There was a time when I actually found that funny, but I changed a lot and I worked so much on myself that I now believe this is totally stupid, because we are conditioning today's society and generation to literally be toxic, and that it's funny to be toxic and it's funny to not heal. It's not funny to not heal, okay? Because if you are, let's say, you are that future generation and you have a generation above you that comes with all those unhealed traumas, with all those unhealed conditions and toxic behaviors, this is not going to end well, So I believe that it's my job to encourage people out there to not find it funny if somebody is being toxic, is being narcissistic, or somebody is being just a bitch. No, it is actually cool to heal yourself and to work on yourself, to become a whole version of yourself, a good version of yourself, and to not pass that trauma on to the next generation. And I believe, especially in this day and age, we have so much resources and so much ability to actually do something good with our knowledge. And instead of making fun and making trends out of being toxic and being detached and being, so selfish, not something cool. I'm literally always talking about love yourself first. But that doesn't mean, and I want you to really understand that, I want you to know that self-love doesn't mean to shut other people off. Self-love is meaning to pour into your cup first, to heal yourself, to do that shadow work, that inner work, to develop yourself into a whole human being so that you have confidence and self-esteem and self-respect, and you do not settle for less. You do not, cross your boundaries. You do not have low standards for yourself. You actually have developed those standards. You know what you want, so that you are a whole person, and then you can attract another whole person. And you let love in. You being kind to people. You're being understanding with people. Showing empathy. And when people are saying like protect your energy, be selfish, and just focus on yourself, yeah, to an extent, but don't cut people off, because as I said in one of my previous videos, the human body and mind, everything about humans is wired for connection and for love. Like, we literally are love. You realize that, right? So if you are trying to cut love off, you are going against your nature. Heal from a person that is basically ghosting you, not caring about you, just basically ignoring you completely, and has moved on from you completely. What you need to learn is you need to let that person go. You're not making any progress of holding on to that person, and you're literally chasing that person. What happens when you chase something? I already explained that multiple times. Everything will run from you. You are desperate. If you're trying to reach a person that is ghosting you, might as well just become a medium, right? That's what I said in the beginning. You need to stop embarrassing yourself, because that is what you do. Like, you are craving something that you're probably not even, like, you claim you love it, but you're probably not even loving it. You are attached, and that is a whole different thing, because love is not unhealthy attachment. Love is pure, love is good. But if you're attached to a person and you're not able to let that person go, you are attached, and it's not pure love. Because pure love is being able to let that person go, because it is better that way, because you may be not meant for each other. Because you have to understand this, guys. If you are in a relationship and it's not working out, that person is not meant for you. Surprise. That person is just not meant for you. Like, why are you trying to chase this? Why are you trying to, move them in a different direction? Why are you trying to convince them? Real pure love, you would not have to convince. It would just exist. It would just be. It would be effortless. That's why I also don't like the saying of, oh, put so much effort into winning me. If you want a person and you truly love a person, you want that person because you love them so much, it should be effortless. Don't try to desperately put an effort into me. For me, it should be effortless. For me, it should be easy for you. Because we understand each other, because there's an exchange of where you don't even need to have words to understand each other, where you just know how that person ticks and what that person likes without even trying so hard. Love should not be hard. Of course, sometimes you have to work on each other, you have to help each other, like, you're going through some hard times, but love in itself should not be hard. That's what I believe. And if you have a person that you're holding on so much, that sounds pretty hard to me. That sounds like a lot of action without a reaction. So maybe you should overthink your action. And instead of putting so much attention into trying to win that person back, or getting, winning that person back, actually put that action and that attention towards yourself. For that time being, where you need that time to heal, where you need the time to, develop yourself and build up that self-love. Because so many people, they don't even love themselves. And that's why they're constantly trying to chase after people and be in the next relationship and the next relationship. And once that ends, just the next relationship again. Because they can't be alone by themselves. And that's not good. That is not healthy. You need to have that ability to live life on your own. You need to have that ability to give yourself that happiness. And not crave someone's attention and love all the time, because that is not healthy. That is not how it's supposed to be. Of course, I understand that once you break up with a person and they seem like they do not care about you at all, it's very hard. Like, it is heartbreaking, and I truly get that feeling. I've been there, right? Like, it's not like I've always been like this and I always loved myself so much. No, I also had times where I was literally craving relationships, and I used to say, oh, I'm just a relationship person, because I couldn't be alone with myself. I hated being alone. I literally was afraid being alone, because then I would start thinking, and when I started thinking, I started hating on myself. I started tearing myself down. That's why I tried to distract myself with other people, with friendships, with going out, with partying, with doing this and that. But that's not love. It's attachment to the distraction, so that you don't have time to actually think. And This might sound harsh to you and somewhat like, I don't want to do this, but you need to go through this time. Let me break it down for you. You need to go through this time of healing and focusing on yourself and being alone with your thoughts and actually figuring out who you are and what you want. Because most likely when you are craving somebody and you cannot heal, you cannot move on from that person, and you just don't know what to do, you are thinking more about that person than you think about yourself. Do you realize that? You put more thoughts and attention, like you think about that person when you wake up and during the entire day, when you go to sleep. Where are you thinking about yourself then? Like you barely have even time to think about yourself. And why? Because you put all your thoughts onto that person that is not even in your life right now. So that's so much wasted energy, right? And you need to learn how to put that energy back towards yourself for that time that you are healing yourself, right? To develop yourself. Don't try to distract yourself with other people, because I'm telling you, you will just find the same person in a different body. You will just find the same type of relationship again, because life always works in cycles and in patterns. These patterns are always coming up again. If you are not healing from your stuff, you're just gonna literally meet the exact same person in the next best person that you're gonna meet. And in the beginning, you will think, oh my god, this is so amazing. I've never had like a relationship like this. I've never met a person like this. And then in the end, it's going to be exactly the same. It's going to be ending like the same, because it's in a pattern. And as long as you do not heal that, as long as you do not develop that security within yourself, that self-love, that confidence, that self-esteem, that self-respect, these boundaries, these standards for yourself, on understanding who you are and what you want and what type of person or type of relationship you want, always constantly end up with the same thing. So you have to break the cycle. You have to decide whether you want to repeat or if you want to evolve. So if you want to evolve, you need to do things differently. So let's not distract ourselves with other people to just, be distracted and not deal with our shit. No, we actually are dealing with our shit here. Okay, that's what this channel is all about. Dealing with your shit and healing from your stuff, right? Let's grow and heal together. That's literally what I always say. So you have to learn how to not distract yourself and be alone with yourself. And that might be a little bit hard in the beginning, but I'm telling you, you're going to enjoy the silence and the peace. I'm telling you that, because I was the person, I used to always go out. I used to always do things, drink and have parties and go out with friends and just not be alone, right? I literally hated coming home alone to my thoughts and having to deal with all this, that I had so much anxiety that I rather was distracting myself. So that's not a good thing. That doesn't seem very confident. That doesn't really seem like self-love. Now I love being alone. I actually need my alone time, because I need to, process. I need to work on myself. I want to improve. I want to not be constantly around like distraction, and I don't want to constantly have advices for things that I don't really ask advice for. That's what's going to happen if you're constantly around people too much. You need to learn how to be alone with yourself. Be alone with yourself and truly realize what type of person you are and what you want. For example, when I ended my last relationship, of course, I had times where I wanted to go out. But in the beginning, I actually gave myself permission to be sad, to cry, to grieve about the loss. Because breaking up with a person, or a breakup in general, it's like you're going to a funeral, but that person's still alive. Like, it's very hard to break up with a person. Like, you are so wired to be used to that person. Like, you're so, you spend your life together, like every day, every night, like, you know that person. It's what you know. So it's like you're completely breaking a pattern and you're like literally jumping in the cold water again. And you need to learn how to swim all over again, all by yourself. You don't have nobody that you can hold on. And that's obviously pretty hard. But you need to give yourself permission to grieve about that and to feel this emotion and not push it away and distract yourself. Because what happens when you suppress everything, it either ends up in illness, disease, or depression, or it just comes up later in the next relationship, because that's a traumatic experience that you're going through. A breakup is kind of like a small trauma, right? Because you're losing a person, and that's always hard. You need to learn, and you need to ask yourself, what made you break up with that person, or what caused the breakup, right? Was it something that person cheated? Was it you cheated maybe? Was it whatever happened? Ask yourself. And then ask yourself some questions, okay? That shadow work, and you can literally find a lot of things on Pinterest. That's why I find most of my journal prompts. And then I just take the time and I sit myself down with actual pen and paper. Okay, don't type it on your phone. I don't know why people just like typing everything on the phone. Like sometimes you need to actually have the physical things and touch something and feel it and spend the time without being distracted. Okay, so I really recommend you using a pen and a paper and doing this shadow work for yourself. Okay, so I'm gonna repeat the question that I asked myself, because you do that shadow work. What you do is how you learn how to evolve through the pain. You learn how to handle the pain and how you can handle these type of pains in the future, or how you want to change certain things for the future, whether it is future relationship, job, friendship, whatever. You can literally use this for anything. Okay, so the first question is, what needs of mine were failed to met? Okay, so there you're writing down what of your actual needs that you had with that person, that relationship, your significant other, your partner. What needs were not met for you personally? What needs do you have? Why did you fight? Why did you break up, right? The second question is, what could I have done better in this situation? So maybe you were a person, you overreacted all the time, you were overly emotional, you actually put your past trauma on that person, and you expected that person maybe to cheat on you because somebody in your past cheated on you, right? There's so many different things, but you also have to admit for yourself that it's not just the fault of the other person, because a relationship is always two people involved, always two people coming together. So it's always a give and take, right? It's always two instances. So you need to also learn and admit for yourself, what have I done wrong? How can I become better, right? And the third question is, what would the best outcome be for myself? So how do you want to handle the situation now? Do you want to chase that person down? Do you want to keep on holding on and not moving forward with your life? Or can you actually learn and grow from this and decide for yourself that this type of relationship is not what you wanted? Actually, even seeing some red flags in the beginning that you started to ignore, and because you just wanted that person so badly, because you just desperately wanted to be in a relationship. I've done that multiple times. Like, I always know, my intuition tells me something, and I always know if this person is for me or not. But sometimes we choose to not listen. So how can you go out of this is actually starting to listen to your own intuition, because our body always knows. Our body always tells us if we are for a person or not. Like, you can always tell. You just need to learn to listen to your intuition more. Intuition is our guiding system. You need to learn how to use that guiding system for yourself to attract better people, to be in better situations, right? To develop these standards for yourself that protect you from these low quality experiences with certain types of people. So you need to learn how you can actually evolve through that situation. Fourth question is, if I could do this again with the knowledge I have now, what would be different? So think about, like, if you are in a relationship in the future with a different person, with the knowledge that you have now, with realizing what you have done wrong maybe, and what things do you not want to accept from your significant other? What kind of things do you not want? What kind of things do you want? How would you handle the situation in a different type of relationship, right? So I don't know, maybe there's people that constantly start yelling at people when they start fighting, and instead of overreacting and starting yelling and starting to offend, what can you do? Stay calm, have a breath, like actually breathe for yourself, or go outside of the room to calm down and then go back and have a clear communication. There's so many things you can do to do better. So what would you do? Fifth question is, what would a person that really loves themselves do? So if you were there to really love yourself, what would you do? Would you keep on putting that pain onto yourself to still run after that person and chase that person if that person is ignoring you? No, you would not. A person that truly loves themselves would actually heal, would actually work on themselves and spend time alone to be with themselves, to figure out what you want next, what you want to do, how you want to move forward, instead of focusing so much on that other person. A person that truly loves themselves would focus on themselves now, would not get distracted, not put that drama onto other people. Because if you are trying to distract yourself with, dating multiple people and whatever, that's not a good thing. Of course you can date, and to find, like, you need to actually date to figure out what you want. So instead, for example, So let's say you met a person, you right away started dating that person, only that person, and you saw red flags. But because you were dating that person, it moved forward into a relationship, even though you knew, hey, that person had some red flags, but you chose to not listen to your intuition, right? So now the next thing that you could do is actually figure out, date a few people to find even out what's out there, that it's not the only person that you're craving so much, that there's so many other people out there. You just need to put yourself out there and get to know other people and be open and be receptive, because if you close yourself off because you're focusing too much on yourself, that's also not good. That's called isolation. That's not self-love. Okay, isolation and self-love is something completely separate. So you need to learn how to work through those things, to heal yourself, and to find out what you truly actually want. And then pick up a hobby. I don't know, like do something with your time, do something that you enjoy doing. Show that self-care and that self-love towards yourself instead of focusing so much on that other person, on that next person. Don't try to run into the next relationship right away. Try to be alone for a while. Try to really get to know you and what you really like. And I promise you, you will truly see why that relationship did not work out. And you will be able to admit that. And once you're able to admit that, and then you're able to forgive that person and yourself, that's when you're truly healed. That's when you truly know, okay, I'm done. Like, I'm not holding on to this anymore. I forgave myself. I forgave that person. I have a clear mind. I'm guilt-free, not feel guilty anymore for running after that person. I did that because of these and these and reasons, because I have attachment issues, because I have this or that. You have to truly realize why you're doing what you're doing, how are you acting. You have to understand yourself. In order to understand other people better, you always need to understand yourself most. You need to learn who you are. And that is the only way. If you ever want to find true happiness and true love, you need to get to know you. Most people don't even know themselves. That's why they're constantly judging people and they have an opinion about everything, because they're not really dealing with themselves so much. They're distracting themselves with talking about other people and thinking about other people so much, when actually they should look in the mirror and start with themselves first, and then the world would be a so much better place if everyone would actually work on themselves and heal themselves, instead of putting blame onto other people, searching for the fault in other people, and I don't know, making this world a toxic place. I don't think that's a trend, and neither should you. And I think if we spread the news of actually really, working on ourselves and showing ourselves and other people kindness, because it also doesn't matter if that person acted wrong or not. Like, who cares? That person lives in their reality, right? You need to forgive that person for acting wrong. Forgive yourself for letting that happen to you. Earlier, that for example, if you're with a narcissistic person and they look for the victim, you need to make sure that you're not the victim anymore. You cannot, you will literally know when you're dealing with a narcissist because you studied so much. You studied this behavior, psychology, yourself, and you love yourself so much. You have so much confidence and self-worth and self-esteem and standards that you are not letting yourself be manipulated and tricked like this. There's just no way, Narcissists always go to that instant to a person that does not love themselves. It's always like this. They always look for the victim people. So if you do not want to be the victim in the next relationship, then you need to level up. You need to heal yourself. You need to work through your trauma. You need to admit what happened. You need to acknowledge it. And then you need to forgive and let it go. And that's how you move on. Not with desperately finding the next best relationship, but truly understanding yourself and working on yourself and working through it and healing that small trauma that happened with the breakup or with the entire relationship. I don't know what kind of relationship you have. Relationship is different, but most of the time what I saw for all my past relationships is that I always had to heal. Otherwise, I would just meet the same person in a different body. and it would happen all over again, and I was left being like, oh, again, why did this happen to me? No, it actually did not happen to me. It happened for me to teach me that I have to love myself first. I have to choose myself first. I have to heal and work through my trauma so I can be a whole person on my own, can love myself. I do not let myself be tricked or manipulated or played. I have my standards. I have my boundaries that cannot be crossed. And I know what I want from life, what I expect from myself, and what I expect from a healthy relationship. And therefore, I can attract somebody that is whole on their own. I am whole on my own. And I built a home within myself, and I'm not afraid to be alone. And that's when you decide that you want a relationship instead of needing a relationship. And that's a total different type of energy. So you need to learn how to become that energy, how to embody that energy. And that's how you move on. You need to put the focus onto you for that little while of healing and working through your stuff, and then again being open and receptive for new love, for better love to come in, having in mind all your boundaries, your standards, and everything that you are, and not let yourself be tricked again or manipulated again, okay? And not be in the next relationship that's not going to end well. You don't want to repeat that cycle. You don't want to repeat that pattern constantly. So guys, I hope this video helps you to actually heal and to move on. Make sure that you just do something for yourself. You know, whenever I was going through a breakup, I, spend time with my friends. Sometimes, yeah, it's okay if you want to party and go out, but don't overdo it. Don't be desperate trying to distract yourself. Spend time on your own. Take time to heal, to do that shadow work, that inner work, and to find a hobby that you enjoy doing on your own. Try something new. Just spend time with yourself and really get to know yourself. And that's when you're all of a sudden are being exposed to maybe a new person. And that love will always feel very, very different from the love or relationship that you had before. So I hope this helps you guys. Let's grow and heal together. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Put some topic suggestions down below if you want to hear about something that I should talk about next. And subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any videos. And I see you guys in my next video.